Hello and good afternoon, everyone. How's it going? Yeah, goes well for me. Except for, my precious Utah Jazz. They lost. But next year we're coming back bigger and better and stronger. So I still support. I got my Jazz hat on, my Jazz hoodie on, because we should support and support that which is important to us. Which brings us to our safety training today, which is about sorry, my collar sticking up out of the hoodie. But which is brings us to our safety training today, which is on self-advocacy, or speaking up for yourself. And I know it's an interesting concept. What does that mean? Like, why is that a safety thing? Because a lot of times people don't speak up for themselves, and they're afraid to, or they feel they cannot. But that is something that can be quite a burden. And so to learn to say no, to say I need help, to say anything that's going on, to advocate for yourself is an important tool to have. And it is good for your safety. Like, physically, mentally, emotionally, it helps bring you into a safe space. So let's get started. So speaking up for yourself or self-advocacy. And I like this first picture. It has an elderly woman who is trying to reach something. And there's somebody there to support her, somebody advocating for her. But at the same time, she has one of those grabber things. Like, I want to be able to do this myself. I don't really want help from anyone else. I want to do this myself. And that is self-advocacy. Like, this is for me. I can do this. I can overcome obstacles. I can get a stool. There's so many, to stand on to grab something. But there's so many moments in life where we look around for someone else, and really we should be looking right back at ourselves and saying, I can do this. And again, this is why self-advocacy is important. So let's define self-advocacy. What is it? Self-advocacy is knowing your rights and your responsibilities, making your own choices and decisions, and in bold and large letters, speaking up for yourself. So and all of this is speaking up for yourself is at the forefront of this. That is something we should all be doing. It's just speaking up for ourselves and saying, I can do this. But also, what is your responsibility? Your responsibility is to yourself, but it's also your responsibility to understand that everyone else has just as much a right to themselves as well. And so discerning those situations is important. But when it comes to each day, as you go down the street, go shopping, anything like that, I mean, anything that goes out in the world, you have the right to make your own choices. But what is the right choice and what is the best choice for everyone in that given situation? So speaking up for yourself is, we move on. Speaking up for yourself makes you stronger. Making choices helps you know what you want. Making your own choices gives you control over your life. And that is very true, especially both of them, but it rings to me, making choices helps you know what you want. Because until you make those decisions, sometimes you make a decision like, I think this is what I want. I'm going to go for it. And then you realize later, I didn't want that at all. Actually, this is probably what I wanted. And it's a whole different thing. But then you learn. But you only learn that from speaking up for yourself or advocating for yourself. And also giving you control over your life. meetings that we have, being in a classroom, cooking, cleaning, so many things gives you control over your life, saying, this is my life, and I'm going to do what I can with my life, given respect for others. So to learn more about speaking up for yourself, make choices and decisions for yourself every day. Like when to get up or when to go to bed at night. It seems like a trivial thing, but it's actually important to keep your life on a schedule that helps your body, helps your mind. But you have that choice. When you get up, plan everything out. When you go to bed, as long as you get everything planned, your day's going to go smooth. When to get a haircut. Unless you're like me and sometimes you just like to let your hair grow long, but if you want to keep it a certain way for a certain amount of time, when do I need to get that other haircut? I know that, when my hair gets down into my eyes, that's my choice to say, hey, I'm going to grow my hair out at this point just so it grows down and I can pull it back, or it's time to get a haircut. When to eat dinner. What clothes to wear, and not only what clothes, but hygienically what clothes to wear. Clothes that have been sitting on the floor for a long time, clothes that are clean and put up in your closet. What clothes to wear. Ones that have been ironed, if you iron, I used to iron a lot. I don't do it as much anymore. On occasion I do. What shampoo to buy. And then, most importantly, what to do for fun. Like, what is fun? And how to make every moment that you can fun. Because that part, again, is advocating for yourself. You can be in a boring situation where you're not that excited to be there. Make it more exciting. Figure it out. I've been in lots of boring situations, or situations where I'm like, this isn't fun. I'm paying attention, I'm learning, but it's not fun. How do I make this more fun? Put your own spin on it. And a lot of times you'll go a lot further and have a lot better time if you give it a try. So, work with decision makers. Help an agency decide which staff to hire, how well staff are doing their jobs, and be on a board of directors. And all of those are very good. Staff members, they need to be reviewed. And, then they shouldn't be upset by any review that they get. As long as it's honest and it's truthful, you should review. And I think it'd be great if one of you all could be in, the hiring process. And not just jump right in and say, yeah, I like them, I want to hire them. Or no, like, look at all their qualifications and everything like that. But that's advocating for yourself, like, that's who I want to work with. Or that person I don't think I could work with, and I don't think they would work well within this program. Join a local People First chapter. I don't know much about that. And this one's very important, and it's coming up more and more, but lead your own individual program plan or IPP meeting. We call them ISP meetings as well. But yeah, lead that. This is your way to speak up for yourself. 100%. Say, this is, I like this. I like where this is going. Or, hey, you know what? I don't think this is useful. I would rather be doing this. And that is what these IPP and ISP meetings are for. And also, speaking up for yourself means making the biggest choices and decisions in your life, like where you will live. It, again, has been very tough with COVID to move to a different place. But we're rising out of that. The pandemic is starting to halt. Let's just cross our fingers that it keeps on this trajectory of going downwards. And also who you will live with. Where you will work, that is definitely your choice. What are you good at? What do you want to do? Um, and really thinking about that. Where would I really like to work? And you never know what the perfect job is until you get there. Sometimes you get to a place and it's not the best place for you, so it's time to find another job, or you'll fall in love with it and be like, I'm so happy that I'm here. Who you want to help and when you need it, and what do you want to do in the future. So living the life that you want. And again, this is advocacy. It's up to you. So it's very important that we think about this, because it really isn't up to anyone else. It's up to you. What life do you want? How do you want to live? Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? And how can I get those things, given everything that's around me? Because it's all possible. And this is what will change if you speak up for yourself more. So if you do speak up for yourself more, you will become more independent. And of course, that's what we want. I want everyone to be as independent as possible. That each decision you make is yours. And that's very important. And being more independent means doing more things for yourself, having more choices. Because the more you do for yourself, the more you realize, the more you can do. So you have more choices. And you can make more decisions. Decisions as to how to plan for the future. What do you want to do in the future? You will also get better at making good choices and decisions. Because we all make bad choices sometimes. And have decisions that are questionable. But the more you advocate for yourself, the more you realize, oh, that wasn't the best decision I ever made. That wasn't the best choice I made. Yeah, and change that. But that's only one way to find out, is by actually going out and doing it. And of course, staying healthy and safe, which is the most important. And self-advocacy groups. In many areas of California, there are groups of people who get together and talk about their rights, responsibilities, speaking up for themselves. And self-advocacy groups have different names like People First and Consumer Advisory Committees. So I implore you to look into those things. Those are very, very important places and things, and there's more. California, we're very lucky to live here because there are all sorts of groups and all sorts of places to help all sorts of people everywhere, and I love that about California. In some places you don't get that as much. And so how can you find out about these groups? So how do you find it more? Check with your regional center community advisory committee, which again, I really would like all of you to look into that. There's also an area board, but not just staff at a program. Look deeper. I mean, you contact the regional center, they have a lot of resources, and it would be fantastic for you to check those out and be like, oh yeah, I didn't realize there was all that out there. Because we don't have all the answers. I don't check in with the regional center all the time. I know some things, but that's their job. That's what they're designed for, is to help you, especially with advocacy and independence. You can also ask if there are self-advocacy meetings near where you live. Ask if there is training to learn about self-advocacy, which there are. And in some places, there are People First meetings. People First says we are people first. Our disability is second. And as I've always said, I used to work for a place called Ability First. And what it is that what are you able to do? And there are so many things. and not to focus on disabilities. Like, oh, I can't do this, or I don't want to do that, or I'm limited by this and this and this. But you're a person, and you can advocate, and you can try many things, like like all of us, like myself. So, what questions do you have to ask yourself? And here's what a self-advocacy group in Santa Barbara says: that I am important. You are important. I know what I want. Tough thing to figure out, but you can figure out what you're going to do. I will work hard to get what I want, and that's very important. You got to work hard and not rely on as many people, but still know that they're there. But work hard to get what you want, and of course you're responsible for the choices you make. So if you make a bad choice and it goes badly, that's up to you and you learn from it. But if you make a choice and it goes really, really well, man, you made a great choice, and continue to make those choices. And that's pretty much the class for today. Again, advocating for yourself is the most important thing that you can do when it comes to living the life that you want, that you can see. And it might be difficult to get somewhere, but the more you try, the more independent you become, the more you advocate for yourself, the closer and closer and closer you'll get to where you find your goal and be happy where you are. And that's what I want for everyone. So I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and please let me know, what questions, comments, reactions, anything you have, of course, to any of these safety trainings. And I look forward to seeing you all very soon. Bye for now.